this is a great opportunity for me to share with you what Moderation 365 is all about. And I've talked about it. I know I've talked about it at various times with various individuals as I was going through some of the certification, as I was implementing with other clients. And it's been amazing. It really has. And I'm very excited about bringing this opportunity and sharing it with you guys. Because what I've learned from my experience, I've been in health and fitness for over 20 years now in various capacities. And the same thing stands true. People come to me and they want to lose weight. But here's the thing, they want to lose weight quickly, right? Like last week, like yesterday. And, I'm a very realistic individual and I'm very honest. And a lot of times I'm thinking and I'm sharing, this doesn't happen that way. Weight loss is something that is a process, and it's a mindfulness process, and it needs to be it needs to be sustainable. Okay. But what I also learned this whole process was it's not all about the weight loss. I learned that even when people lost weight and, they lost 5, 10, 20, 30 pounds, they still were not happy. There was something that was lacking. So I started figuring out like, okay, well, fine. You want to lose weight, you lose weight. That's easy. What I can do with someone is I restrict your calories. I cut your calories down, you eat less, you move more, boom, you lose weight. But then what happens? We bring it right back, right? The weight comes back 95% of the time. Research supports this fact. 95% of the time, that weight comes back. And what is happening there is the skills, the mindset, all these things that are involved to help facilitate and sustain the weight loss were never there. It was simply just a matter of reducing the calories, eating less, which that's not good because our body needs fuel to operate, and move more, which at times, there's individuals that I've known of in the past, cardio all the time, working out all the time, totally stressing out their bodies, but they weren't really getting anywhere when it comes to that weight loss, because that was in turn, like I said, stressing out the body, not truly learning what it is to have a healthy relationship with food. So I say all of that to bring it back to be very honest with you. This program, this course, Moderation 365, is not focused on helping you to lose weight. I will not say you're going to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds. No, you could. But what this course is about and why I find it so valuable is it really digs down into what is our relationship with food? Why, do when we feel very unhappy or not proud of the way we look, that we feel that we need to eat or we overeat? If we're stressing out about other parts of our lives, our relationships, our job, why we maybe eat more than we should to the point that we're stuffed instead of satisfied. And there's a big difference between being stuffed, where you can barely fit in your pants. I've been there. Or when you feel satisfied, like, okay, I feel good. I feel nourished. I feel good energy. I don't have any cravings. And this is good. How awesome does that sound to feel like that every day? And to be quite honest with you, when I started learning about Moderation 365, I was someone, because of my nature, I wanted to try different things because I need to know so I can better coach my clients. And I found myself getting very rigid, very restrictive with what I was eating. And I saved, I love sweet treats. I saved all my sweet treats, for special occasions or for the weekends. And to be honest with you, when I ate them, I still felt guilty. And I thought, that's just is mind-blowing now that I've learned better ways and strategies through Moderation 365. But like I said, I've been there where I'll indulge, I'll overeat, and I don't even feel good about it when I know that I want to eat this slice of cheesecake. I'm like, it's really good. I enjoy cheesecake. I want it. But when I'm eating it, I'm like, oh, I'm feeling a little guilty. And then afterwards, I'm like, oh. And that shouldn't be that way. It should not be that way. Moderation 365 has really, really helped me to have a better relationship with food where I don't feel that guilt when I eat. I enjoy it. And now I don't wait until the weekends to have a treat. I can have it every day of the week that I want. But well, that's also to say that doesn't mean I just go buck wild and eat crazy and all the time. So that's where mindfulness comes into play. So in regard to the Moderation 365, it's the complete opposite of your total restrictive diets. Say, the Atkins diet is a lot about protein, right? A high protein diet and very little carbs. Well, our body needs carbs to function, to heal, to repair, to recover, so many things, right? And we get caught up in these diets that are so very restrictive that we feel as though if we're not living in this restriction, then we're failing. Then, we're not doing what we need to do to lose weight or to feel healthy or to be healthy. And that puts a lot of stress on our brain. It takes up a lot of space in our brain. That's what happened to me. It took up a lot of space in my brain. I was constantly thinking about what I was going to eat for breakfast. And once I had breakfast, I thought, what about lunch? When's lunch going to start? And what am I going to have for lunch? And this is very true. I was to the point where I was obsessed with just thinking about food. If I was eating it, it meant that I was thinking about it. Now, it didn't mean that I was eating a lot of food. That wasn't the case for me. But just the fact that I was thinking about it all the time was bothering me. It was like I was running a business. I am running a business. I don't have time to be thinking about food and obsessed with food and what I'm going to eat and what I'm going to eat and how I'm going to eat it. So I needed to find a way that worked for me and that was sustainable. And I know individuals count calories. Some individuals do macro counting where you're looking at your fats, you're looking at your carbohydrates and your proteins. And I am not here to discourage you from doing that. For some, that structure, because I do that structure is very important. And I like structure. However, I was taking that to the extreme, okay? With Moderation 365, once again, it's more of that relationship with food. Finding that middle ground, navigating the middle, not the restriction, the diets, the fad diets that we probably have all been on, up, down, nor the other end of the spectrum, which is overindulgence. Just saying, you know what? The heck with it. I already had a couple of cookies. Let me just go ahead and have the whole pack, right? So there's these two extremes on this spectrum. And to be quite honest with you, we all have a tendency to go to one extreme or the other. The hardest thing to do and the most challenging at times is to navigate the middle ground. Get right, moderation. It's not sexy. It's not, where you see in tabloids, oh yeah, I just eat moderately. Oh no, we always hear about the fad diets. Oh, I cut out my carbs. I only eat proteins. I stop eating after 6. All the intermittent fasting, all these things, which some of those things are helpful for some individuals. But once again, we have to have a strong foundation to build upon. And that's where Moderation 365 comes in, where we first get a good foundation and we have a healthy relationship with food, understanding how we feel when it comes to food, certain things, certain foods, certain triggers, certain situations that come about that may trigger you to go one way or the other. It's much harder to navigate the middle. But within being in that middle ground, the foundation is strong and you can make better decisions. And like I say, you eat more mindfully. You're aware of what you're eating. And once you're aware, like I say, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power to do better. Then you eat more confidently. You're not wondering, is this good for me? Is this not good for me? Is it organic? Is it not organic? We get caught up in all those rules, right? And then you're eating more to satisfy you. To eat and not be happy with what you're eating is miserable. You have to enjoy what you're eating. And there's little things that we can do and tips that I'll share and strategies with Moderation 365 to encourage you to find what those extras may be to make your meal more satisfying. That could be if you're eating a salad, and of course, you've got your veggies in there, you've got your cucumbers, everything that you enjoy. But maybe to add a little more satisfaction, you add some cheese, some shredded cheese on there. It adds a little bit more satisfying. You add, just a little bit of dressing to dress it up. You still have your nutrients in there, but you add something to it to make it more satisfying, more enjoyable. When we can do that for our mind and body, it makes a world of difference. You no longer feel restricted or deprived, but you feel on the opposite, you feel like satisfied and you don't feel stuffed. You feel satiated, okay? Because we all need fuel. One of the things that I shared in the past with clients is that when it comes to food, it's unlike anything else. When it comes to vices like alcohol or other addictions, could be drugs, where there's a process to rehab from that. You stay away from, there's a whole process. When it comes to food, we cannot stay away from food. Food is in our lives daily. We need food. So I think it becomes even more important to recognize having a healthier relationship with food, because you're never going to not be away from food. Okay. So rather just head it straight on and say, let's do this, rather than, stick your head in the sand and say, I can't do it. I'm just going to overindulge when I feel it, or I'm going to super restrict. So I just feel like I'm doing something to manage the situation, which is not healthy. It's not healthy. I understand. I've been there. I understand the feelings and the emotions involved with that. And that's why I really gravitated to Moderation 365. So there's no protocols. There's no, you got to get a meal plan from me. I'm not giving meal plans. I'm not, giving macros and saying you have to eat this amount, none of that. That's not Moderation 365. What it is we have to get clinical. Okay. We have to learn how to get clinical with ourselves and look at things from a perspective of, okay, this is what I used to do. And you know what? I don't do too bad. I do eat protein. I get protein every meal. That's pretty good. Or I have veggies pretty frequently. That's great. So it's working off of a foundation of the things that you do that are good, that are healthy, that serve you. All right. Rather than saying, cut out the sugar, cut out the fats. That's not how we do things with the Moderation 365. All right. So it's developing with the intention in mind that you're not going to feel your life is disrupted. They are steps that you can implement, and one might work better for you versus another one. Another strategy might work better for you versus another one. So it's learning and keeping an open mind through this process. Now, one of the tools that I found super valuable for me, because in a world with all of these rules and regulations when it comes to eating, like I said, gluten-free, this, that, and some of these things are very important to your overall health and wellness. So you have to ensure that you are sticking to some of those things, such as if you need to be gluten-free, you got to be gluten-free. This is not moderation. You can be gluten-free and do Moderation 365, because once again, it's our relationship with food. All right. So that tool that really just kind of cut to the core were DNCs. And it's an acronym for daily nutritional commitments. Okay. So instead of me having to consume myself with all of these calories, macros, organic, what time of day, all of that, you just break it down to three things. Everything else out the door for right now. Your focus is only three things, 3 eating habits that follow these criteria. Okay. 1, It has to be effortless. It can't be something that, let's say, as an example, that, okay, it's got to be organic apple and we have to use chia seeds from a certain brand in a certain store. Forget it. That ain't happening. It might happen for 2 or 3 days, but after that, done. All right. So it has to be effortless. And for most people, it's something that you're already doing. It's something that you are already doing. It may need a little tweak here and there, but you're already doing it. Okay. So one is effortless. It has to be automated. Okay. The second thing, is it needs to, we got the effortless and we have the, oh my goodness, let me look at my notes here. I can't believe I just left my mind. Enjoyable. All right. So like I alluded to earlier with the salad, you may be like, okay, salad's not the best thing that I might, look forward to. But I tell you what, when I put avocado in my salad, and I love dried cranberries because it gives me a little sweet tart taste, put dried cranberries in there, I'm in heaven. Now I'm like gulping up that salad and everything, scooping it up because it is just that little bit of the dried cranberries and the avocado just gave that satisfaction factor to my salad. And now I feel good. I feel like, yes, this is fantastic. It's filling, it's satiating, and it's enjoyable. Okay. The last E is effective. It needs to be effective for your goals. Okay. And what does that mean? Well, we're not going to set goals right now in terms of it's got to be a weight loss or I've got to do this. The goal is to create a strong foundation for your relationship with food. And so right now, for it to be effective, it needs to be this. Keep your hunger in check. Okay. Keep your cravings low and your energy level stable throughout the day, meaning no energy spikes up and down. So if it fits that criteria for right now, then it's effective for your goals. Okay. So one is effortless. It's automated, something you're probably already doing. 2, enjoyable. Find ways to make your meals enjoyable so that you feel, because what happens when we enjoy something? We feel good, right? We're not stressing in our brain. We're allowed to relax and eat it and enjoy it and feel good. So being enjoyable is a big part. I remember there were times in my life where I would eat meals that were not enjoyable. They were bland. They were just basic. And I look back and I think, wow, I've come a long way. I did it. And I realized that's not way I want to live my life. I want to enjoy my meals. I want to enjoy the process, the ritual, all of that. And then the last part, like I said, is it needs to be effective for your goals. And right now, managing the hunger, keeping your craving levels low, and also maintain a stable energy throughout the day. So those are big. Okay. Now, for me, my 3 and D and C's, they change. They're not always the same. I mean, they don't change every day, but they change periodically, probably since January, I would say early January. I made a commitment to increasing my protein because I eat plant-based. And so it's sometimes a challenge for me to get my protein in. So I wanted to ensure that I was doing that. So I made it one of my DNCs. So for right now, my 3 DNCs, 1, oatmeal in the morning. Nice bowl of oatmeal. I have chia seeds. I have peanut butter. I have walnuts. And I have, let's see, what else do I put in there? Walnut and then blueberries. Oh, I love eating it. I sit down and the crunch of the walnuts, the blueberries, I enjoy it. It's effective for my goals. It keeps my hunger levels low. It satisfies my cravings for sweet. I mean, it hits all the marks. Okay. My second DNC is a big salad. And either I'll have it at lunch or I'll have it at dinner. It depends on how my day is going. But when I say big salad, I mean a big salad. You guys have probably seen my salad on when I post it. I've got a bed of just greens, and then I'll usually throw roasted veggies on there. I'll put portobello mushrooms. I'll do broccoli, roasted Brussels sprouts. I'll probably put together a little bit of a dressing, my own honey mustard. I'll do a little bit of maple syrup, a little bit of mustard, and kind of spin it together. It's delicious. And then I'll sometimes throw some pecans or avocado. Satisfying, enjoyable. Hunger level stays down. My energy level stays consistent. And there are no cravings because I get it all in my meal. I find a way to put it in. I don't have to douse my salad in a bunch of dressing. I don't have to fill it with a bunch of pecans, but just, a handful is enough. So I get the crunch, I get the fat from it, and it's enjoyable. And then my last DNC is protein. So I make it a point to get some protein every meal that I have, whether I have a half of a protein bar, maybe if I have a salad for lunch, I'll have a half of a protein bar, and then I'll have the other half with my dinner. So, or if I'll do a protein shake, maybe for my lunch, and then I'll do the protein for dinner. So I find ways to get it in there. But guess what? After that, I'm done. All the rest, I do my best. I'm not worried about this and that. I just focus on those 3 things. If I do those 3 things mostly consistently, then I'm on track. I'm on track with everything else. I've got everything covered. Now, those are my DNCs. Everybody's going to be different. It may be for you that you find that you need to get more water into your diet. And so that may be your DNC where you feel like, yeah, you know what? When I do drink more water, I feel better. My skin looks better. I just don't feel so crickety. That could be yours. So everybody is different. A lot of times I have individuals that feel like they don't have enough protein in their diet. So their DNC is similar to mine, where they make sure to have some protein at every meal. They have either a couple of eggs for breakfast. They may do half of a protein bar for lunch. And for dinner, they have a piece of chicken or a piece of fish. Check the box. You've got it all covered. Rather than thinking about and being consumed with, am I eating enough of this? Have I had too much of that? That's very consuming for our brain. And there's only so much our brain can manage and so many decisions it can make in a day. That's why our tendency to binge in the evenings or at dinner time, because by the end of the day, we're taxed. Our brain is tired of making decisions. We just want to go in automated mode, and just whatever's there is there. It has happened to all of us. And that's not by default. It is for real. Our brain can only make so many decisions in a day, and we don't think about it. We just do it. But by the time that we get to the end of the day, we're done. We're tired of making decisions. We're just going to eat what we want to eat because we want to eat it at that time, period. And that doesn't always serve us well. Okay. And through moderation, when you figure out your 3 DNCs, your daily nutritional commitments, then you're no longer worrying about these other things. If you just stay focused on those 3 things, you have now freed up space in your brain to now do other things. Take a walk, share more time with family and friends, do the things that are going to serve you better, because we are not meant, nor should we be consumed with eating, when we're going to eat, how we're going to eat. It doesn't have to be that difficult. We, for whatever reasons, and we'll talk about that in Moderation 365, it could be from growing up. You may have been part of the Clean Plate Club, right? Where you were just taught to just eat everything on your plate, don't leave anything on there, and be done. But now as an adult, you're thinking like, I'm full. You may be halfway through your plate and be like, I'm full. I don't want to eat anymore. And just by nature, by old habits and old practices, we do the same thing. We do the same thing just because that's what we do. But now through utilizing some of the tools, I really believe and I know that it can help a lot of individuals make some better decisions and have a healthier relationship with food. And then from there, can definitely build upon opening things up. And they're really called like attainment goals. Like if you wanted to lose weight, okay, great. How could I, within my integrity, someone came to me and wanted to lose weight and give them a meal plan without knowing what their personality is like or what their tendencies are or what their food history is? You know, the answer is not always to restrict and go lower in calories. There's a lot going on in our bodies. It depends on our age, where we are with regards to our hormones, menopause, premenopause. All of these things come into play. But until we get our mind right, our mindset right when it comes to eating and food and our relationship, we'll continue to do this round and round in circles. Okay, round and round circles. So that's why I'm excited about Moderation 365, because once you learn some of these tools and strategies, you don't have to learn them again. This is not like, okay, in 6 months, you got to go through this again. There's none of that. You continuously practice implementing these tools and strategies, practice. And here's the great thing is that every day is going to be practice for you. Every time you eat, you'll at least have 2 to 3 times a day to practice this. And you're never going to eat perfect. So get that right out of your mind. I don't eat perfect. I eat mostly healthy, but I don't eat perfect. So I think it's a better decision for our mindset, because our mind guides everything, as you guys know, our stress levels, our energy levels, all of this. And with our mindset not being the right spot for when we eat, not feeling good about the way we look, it all comes back to, okay, how do we manage this, but at the same time, make it sustainable? I don't have to do this every 6 weeks, every 12 weeks. I'm going to learn a strategy and I'm going to implement it. I'm going to practice it over and over and over. I'm going to have some good days and bad days, but mostly I'm going to have good days because I'm going to practice. And I know for a fact, because I've experienced this and other clients of mine and many others who've implemented Moderation 365 have felt a lot of success, because there's this confidence where you know that you can go to a restaurant, you can go to a friend's home, and you don't have to worry about, what am I going to eat? What's going to be there? What's on the menu? That's stressful. That's very stressful. You can go and sit down and decide what you want to eat and eat it, and not have this extra guilt, remorse, shame. There's a lot of emotions that we attach to food that don't serve us as well. So learning new ways, new tools, new strategies to implement can definitely help you heal and improve that relationship, so that when you do go out to a friend's house, to a restaurant, whatever the case may be, you're confident. You're going to eat. You're going to eat it, and you're not going to feel any guilt or shame. You're going to eat, and you're not going to worry about, what are they going to have? Are they going to have, bread? Oh no, I can't be eating bread. Mindset. When we take and reduce the amount of stress that we put on ourselves as a result of that, we will make better decisions about everything else. And that example that I told you about the salad, when I satisfy my cravings in that way, I don't binge. I don't, go overboard and later and just feel like I have to, eat a whole bunch of sweet stuff because I like sweets. That was enough. Now, at first, I'll be honest with you, it takes practice. It takes practice. So you're like, okay, yeah, eating the cranberries and everything in my salad is quite not like eating, a burger and fries with cheese. It's not. And I'm not saying that. But with practice, like I said, and finding those things that'll help you find your meals more enjoyable. Like I said, the 3 E's, effortless. It can be something that's so specific and so you're not going to sustain it. You may for a time, but we're looking for the long haul here. I'm here to train you for the long haul, not for just for right now and then let's see what happens in a year. These strategies and tools are for you to use forever and ever and practice them. Sometimes you may practice some more than the others at times. It just depends. I have a client who feels as though cannot have ice cream in the house. Like, because if there's ice cream in the house, heaven forbid, it's going to be gone. I was an individual. My husband doesn't eat quite like the way I do, and he likes the sweets. We had I call it a tub of M&Ms, peanut M&Ms. And, you know, I got to the point where I told him, I said, you can't have them because I don't trust myself. And then I thought about what I said, and I thought, I'm a grown businesswoman. How can I not trust myself? Let me get things in perspective. Let me get things in perspective here. So this process is so awesome because it gives you the power back. It takes the power away from the food and it gives it back to you. And you become the person in control. If I want a few M&Ms, I'll put my hand in there and grab a few M&Ms. Boom, done. And to be honest with you, I did all that. And after a while, I was like, okay, they're there. Big deal. Because I'd already had them. And, you know, the fill was over. The excitement, the cravings was already managed. I had my sweet treat done. So after a couple of weeks, I was like, yeah, no big deal. They're there. And I forgot about them, to be quite honest with you, being there. But it takes practice. It takes practice. And it can happen. So, like I said, when it comes to the DNCs, you can do the DNCs now. I encourage you to find 3 things that you're doing now already. Excuse me. 3 things that you will do moving forward. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It could be drink more water. It could be eat breakfast. You know, it could be have protein, you know, at every meal. There's so many because everybody's different. Could be eat more veggies. If you don't eat veggies very frequently, it could be have veggies once a day, whether your breakfast, lunch, or your dinner. So you really, you know, there's a lot of freedom in that because I'm not telling you what it should be. And what are we used to? We're used to having somebody tell you what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat. Not with Moderation365. 3 things, 3 nutritional commitments that you can make daily moving forward. Everything else, forget about it. Just those 3 things. And every day, go back and make sure you're hitting those 3 things mostly every day. And by 2-3 weeks into it, you're mostly on track because you would have had meals that were effortless. You didn't have to, you know, make a big to-do. They were enjoyable and they were effective. If we just start there and get that strong foundation and build on it, you don't have to do this again. You don't relearn this. It is what it is. Okay. It is what it is. It doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be restrictive. It doesn't have to be complicated. We're going to make it very, very simple. All right, guys. Now, questions for me about the Moderation365? Anything specific? I'm here to answer. I had some really good questions come through on email before in terms of, and this is one someone asked, can alcohol be a DNC, a daily nutritional habit? And what do you think I said? I said, yeah, it can. Right now, we're building that foundation because this is what happens if I say, no alcohol. What do you think what are you going to feel? I need to have alcohol. I want alcohol. It's whenever we take something away, we automatically, and this is mindset, okay? We automatically start feeling we want it, right? We crave it. So that's not what we want. We want to create an opportunity to pick some things, 3 things that are workable for you. Now, and I know it may sound crazy, but like I said, right now, have it. If that's one of the things that you find that's enjoyable, that's going to keep you mostly on track, maybe if you do have alcohol, you feel like, okay, when I have alcohol, I don't really, crave much. I don't really do any binging. So, one glass of say wine is going to be good. I'm going to feel relaxed. I'm going to feel like I'm not depriving myself. And then I also really don't crave anything else when I have that. So it's effective. See, it's just, so there's nothing that you can say that's like, okay, yeah, that's not good. That's not good. Let me see. I have a couple of comments here. Aha, thank you, Wendy. When he says, I hear you and see you, because it's true. When we start restricting, not good. Not good. We are not helping ourselves. We're hurting ourselves. And we feel like it needs to be hard, but it doesn't have to. It can be easy, and it is easy. We just have to have that open mindset to learn a different way. Because once again, if we knew a different way, we would be doing it already. That's what happened to me. If I knew a different way, I would have already been doing it. Once I learned it, now I got it down, and now it's practicing. Okay, practice. Any questions, comments? Feel free to unmute, or you can type in. Let's see. We've got one right here. Okay, but you do have to impose certain restrictions. Let's see, like what, Diane? Can you explain that a little bit about imposing certain restrictions? That's good. I'm intrigued by that, but I'm just not sure what you mean by that. Let's see what she says. Ah, okay, very interesting. She says, I love salty foods, not a good thing. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, Diane. Moderation365, moderate. So if salt is an issue for you, it's not for most people. I know we're not going to go buck wild on the salt, but if salt is going to increase the satisfaction factor of your meal, I've done it before. I've salted, put a little salt on my salad. I put a little salt on my rice because it gives it flavor. So it's no wonder, most of us probably do enjoy having salt on our meals because it enhances the flavor. So in that case, Diane, I wouldn't say no salt in your diet, or no, I wouldn't impose that restriction. I would say, you probably will want to have that as one of your DNCs, to have whatever it is that you like salty. So it cuts that desire to have and binge and have and overdo it at another time, if that makes sense. There you go, salt modification. So if you have it and have a little bit, then you're no longer, believe it or not, you're no longer going to crave it, because it's no longer this thing that you want and can't have. And you don't know that until you practice it. I know it sounds kind of like, I don't know about that. But when you practice it, it happens. Once you start allowing yourself to have some of these things that you're used to feeling restricted and not allowing yourself to have, once you start having it, the illicitness kind of just goes away. You're just kind of like, okay, I have it. You don't crave it as much, but you don't know that until you practice doing it. Okay. So good point. Very good point, Diane, about bringing that in. Yes, having the salt for sure. Definitely, that's something you crave. You're going to want to have it. But in time, it's not going to be this big thing that oh my God, I can't have it. Now, of course, we always have to take into consideration in terms of if you have a doctor saying, okay, you really need to limit, then that's different. Okay, that's totally different here. All right, I'm not going to supersede what a physician's going to suggest for you. But good question. Good question. Any other thoughts, suggestions, comments, recommendations, questions about the program? I will share with you that it will be a 6-week group coaching program. And we will meet every Wednesday. It's going to be Wednesdays at noon. Okay. And we'll start April the 6th. And it will go through May the 11th. So every Wednesday at noon, we'll come together just like this. I'm going to teach you the pillars, the strategies of Moderation365. You will get homework assignments. They're not going to be like, oh my God, I can't do this. It will be as an example. Okay, well, what are your 3 DNCs? That will be a homework assignment, figuring those out, finding out. Then you'll come back next week and say, you know what, this is it. But I'm having a problem. I'm not meeting them. And guess what I'm going to tell you? Then those are not the right DNCs for you. Let's figure out what it really is. Because what happens is sometimes people choose DNCs that they think that they should have, right? That sound good, that sound healthy, but are not really for them. Like, oh, I'm going to have fruit every day, right? I have fruit with my dinner. In actuality, they're not big fruit eaters, or, that's not their thing. So we have to really stay genuine and true and honest with ourselves. And that's a process. Like I said, that's what we'll do. We'll have, like I said, easy homework assignments, nothing too heavy. Every week we'll come back, discuss, what's going on, what's working, what's not working. I'll teach the lesson, like I said, the strategies and tools, and help support you guys through the process, because this is new. And like, it's not me giving you a meal plan. That's so different. This is like, okay, new territory, and anything new, believe you me, at first, what feels hard? It feels like, oh, I can't do this. Is really, is this all that there is? Give it some time, open-minded, and practice. Remember, we can't do something better, do something different till we learn the process. And there is going to be plenty of tools to learn to implement. And you may find that 2 tools are like, that's it, that clicked, that resonated with you, and boom, you're off to the races. Okay. That's what happened with me. I practiced a lot of tools. Some were more effective than others, but what I love about it is there's, everybody's different. So some will resonate more than others, or maybe they all will, but nonetheless, their tools will support this practicing philosophy, implementing it, and then coming back and let's find out what challenges you have. How can we improve upon that and make little changes here and there to make it effortless, effective, and enjoyable. All right, guys. Any other questions, comments? The email for the registration is going to be going out. I think I set it for 6 o'clock. The coupon code, if you guys are interested in registering, it is MOD, M-O-D, like moderation, capital M-O-D, 365. Okay. MOD, M-O-D, 365 is the coupon code. I'll put that in the chat box too. MOD 365. So when you register, put that in the coupon code, and that's going to give you $50 off of the course. All right. And once again, the registration opens this evening. It will close the Monday before our first session on Wednesday. Anytime, email me, text me, let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer anything specific or outside of this forum. All right, guys, I appreciate your time.